Here's the strange thing about your life. You're not really living it, not consciously, not intentionally, not deliberately. Most of what you do is automatic. Your reactions, your habits, your decisions, your emotions, even the way you think. Almost all of it is controlled by a silent program running in the background. A program you didn't design. A program you're not aware of. A program that shaped your entire life without your permission. It's called autopilot mode. And today, on Mind Scripted, you're about to see how it controls you. And honestly, how to take your mind back. You wake up at the same time, you grab your phone the same way, you feel the same emotions every morning, you think the same thoughts you thought yesterday, you follow the same behaviors without questioning them. Why? Because your mind is designed to save energy, not to build a better life. So it automates everything. Thoughts, automated. Feelings, automated. Responses, automated. Habits, deeply automated. Your mind loves patterns, even if the pattern is destroying you. This is why change feels impossible. You're trying to change a life your subconscious is trying to repeat. The findings suggest that habits can be harnessed for public health and personal well-being. For example, anchoring a new behavior to a reliable cue, like exercising after work, can help it stick. To break a habit such as smoking, avoiding old triggers, or substituting a new routine, chewing gum after a meal instead of lighting up, may be more effective than willpower alone. When attempting to change a habit, Gardner recommended spending a few days recording what environment you're in when the habit is initiated, where you are, what time it is, and even who you're with. If you do that for a week, you should be able to see what the triggers are, and that empowers you to change, he said. Ultimately, habits are not the enemy of free will. Habits are really valuable. They free up mental resources for other things, Gardner said. Habit gets a bad reputation. But actually we need to recognize that it's a good thing to be able to automate much of what we want to do. Prof. Grace Vincent, a sleep scientist at Central Queensland University and co-author of the study, agreed. If we set out to create a positive habit, whether that's around better sleep hygiene or nutrition or general well-being improvements, we can rely on an internal autopilot to take over and help us maintain those habits. You think you're making decisions, but in reality, your past is deciding for you. Your childhood shaped your fears. Your past failures shaped your confidence. Your environment shaped your habits. Your beliefs shaped your identity. And now, those old programs are still running your life like a script you can't see. You're not lazy. You're not unmotivated. You're not broken. You're just running on automatic. Like everyone else, until you wake up. Autopilot keeps you comfortable, but it also keeps you stuck. It keeps you in the same emotions, every day. It keeps you in the same habits, every week. It keeps you in the same life, every year. No growth, no evolution, no transformation, just repetition. You don't rise on autopilot, you only repeat. There comes a moment in every life where you stop and ask, wait, is this really me? Or just a program I've been following? This moment is rare, but it's powerful, because awareness is the first step to control. You can't change a program you can't see, but once you see it, you can rewrite it. And this is the moment you take your life back. When we move through life on autopilot, our subconscious mind is thinking for us. We are operating within the confines of our own programming. Without conscious awareness, we go through the motions based on what's available to us, given what we've thought, felt, or done in the past. While the autopilot function is critical for certain aspects of our lives, breathing, eating, sleeping, essential activities of daily living, self-preservation in the wake of trauma, etc., we need conscious thought if we want to do anything outside of our existing programming. If we want to change our lives, we need to be able to do things outside of our programming, aka what we think, feel, and do. If we want to do things outside of our programming, we need to be aware of our current state of being, so we can then decide to think, feel, and do something different. But the most important factor in breaking the habit of living on autopilot is to truly understand we have a choice. Here is how you break the loop. First, question your defaults. Why do you wake up at this time? Why do you check your phone first? Why do you react with anger or stress or avoidance? Ask yourself, is this a choice or a habit? Awareness disrupts automation. Second, change one tiny pattern. You don't need a full life reset, just one new action. Take a different route. Change your morning routine, replace one small habit. Pause before reacting. One new pattern breaks the old chain. Third, interrupt your thoughts. When a negative thought appears, say, "This is an automatic script, not reality." Labeling it disconnects its power. Fourth, insert conscious decisions. Stop living from memory. Start living from intention. Ask yourself throughout the day, what am I choosing right now? This single question pulls you out of autopilot instantly. A powerful life doesn't require superhuman discipline. It requires awareness. The moment you shift from automatic patterns to conscious choices, your life changes direction. You don't repeat the past anymore. You create the future. You don't operate from programming. You operate from purpose. You become the driver, not the passenger. And that moment is the moment you become unstoppable. How much control do we really have over our own lives? It's a question that's preoccupied philosophers and theologians for millennia. But whether you're a firm believer in predeterminism or adhere to the school of thought that humans forge their own destinies in a world ruled by chaos, one thing is certain: much of your day is spent engaged in activities that you did not consciously decide to do. You could call these actions habits, non-conscious processes usually triggered by environment and context. For example, you wake up, go to the bathroom, and brush your teeth. It's not that you have decided to do it. It's just what you always do. And once you've started brushing, you're even less actively engaged. You're not thinking about how to brush your teeth, pioneering new techniques to better scrub the back molars. You just do it, unthinkingly, while your mind wanders off elsewhere. Experts in behavioral science have long known that swaths of our days are spent engaged in routine. But new research has claimed that even more of our actions than previously thought may be habitual rather than intentional. A study from the University of Surrey, University of South Carolina, and Central Queensland University, published in Psychology and Health, found that 2/3 of our daily behaviors are initiated on autopilot, or out of habit. The international research team surveyed 105 participants from the UK and Australia, sending 6 random prompts to their phones each day for a week that asked them to describe what they were doing, and whether it was triggered out of habit or done with intention. They found that 65% of daily behaviors were habitually initiated, meaning people were prompted to do them out of routine rather than making a conscious decision. Your mind will always try to put you back on autopilot. It's safe, it's predictable, it's easy. But a meaningful life is never lived automatically. It's lived intentionally. The switch is in your hands, and today, you just learned how to flip it. Welcome to Mind Scripted. Welcome to your new life.